If your surname is on this list, you're not just Irish by heritage, you're carrying a decision somebody made under pressure. In 1465, the Irish Parliament ordered every Irishman in the Pale to take an English surname, a town, a colour or a trade, or forfeit his goods for life. Stay until number 1, because that name hides a Gaelic title the Crown spent 4 centuries trying to erase, and the family gave it up themselves. Your name isn't a label, it's evidence. Number 10. Doyle. In Irish, O Dubh Gael, descendant of the dark foreigner, the word the annalists used for the Danish Vikings, not the fair foreigners, the Norwegians. One of the most Irish names on earth means not one of us. The Norse arrived on the Leinster coast in the 9th century and didn't leave. By 1169, when the Normans came ashore, the Doyle families of Wexford weren't foreigners at all. Doyle is the 12th most common surname in Ireland today, a word that was once an insult and became a homecoming. Number 9. Sweeney. Mac Suibhne, son of Suibhne, a chief in Argyll around 1200 whose stronghold still stands on a Scottish sea loch, not Irish, Scottish and part Norse as well. From the 14th century they crossed to Donegal as Galaglas, the foreign warriors with a reputation for not breaking when the line broke. The O'Donnells didn't simply hire them, they granted them land and kept them until 3 Mac Sweeney lordships stood in Donegal. And then the family did something mercenaries don't do, they commissioned their own history, a manuscript still in Dublin. Number 8. Walsh. 4th most common surname in Ireland, and in Irish it's Brethnach, it means Welshman. It isn't Gaelic at all, it's the label Gaelic Ireland stuck on somebody else. Strongbow's invasion of 1169 was heavily Welsh, and Irish-speaking Ireland didn't sort them by lineage. It called all of them Brethnach, and within 2 generations that was a hereditary surname. The Walshes were never one family, they were a category, one man often recorded under 2 names at once. The most Irish thing about it is that it means you weren't. Number 7. Cotter. In Irish, Mac Oitir, son of Otter, Old Norse, built from words meaning dread and army. The Cotters are Cork. After 1169, that was a problem. The Ostmen, the Norse of the port towns, had no inland. Their world was the harbour, and the harbour had just been taken. They didn't emigrate out of it. They just stopped being legible. Number 6, Blake. It isn't a surname, it's a nickname that ate one. The family name was Cadell, and it came into Ireland out of Wales. Richard Cadell served as Sheriff of Connaught around 1303, and somewhere along the way people start calling him Niger the Black for his colouring, and his sons keep it. For the next 3 centuries, Galway legal documents write both. Blake, alias Cadell. The family became one of the 14 tribes of Galway. Then somewhere in the 1600s, quietly, they let half of themselves fall off the page. Number 5. Smith, the most ordinary surname in the English-speaking world. In one Irish county, it's a Gaelic princely name. Machan Gaban, son of the Smith, a position that carried real standing. They were among the ruling families of Breffni, now County Cavan. Now go back to that 1465 statute, because it doesn't just order an English surname, it itemizes them. A town, a colour, a trade. Smith is written into the law, and in Cavan the great majority didn't transliterate into McGowan the way their Donegal cousins did. They translated. They became Smith, the most forgettable name in the language, chosen on purpose. Number 4. King. And nobody's ancestor was one. In West Galway, King is Mac Conrowie. In Roscommon, it's O Maol Chonair, hereditary historians to the O'Connors, whose actual profession was remembering names accurately. Not one means king, but say any of them quickly to a record keeper with a little Irish, and something in the middle sounds like Rye, king. So he writes king. The scholar Wolfe, cataloguing Irish surnames in 1923, called it what it is, erroneous. A family of professional rememberers misfiled forever by a man in a hurry. Number 3. Bird and Rabbite. 2 names, 1 family. Mac Cononai, a Monaghan family. In Ulster, a clerk hears the middle of it, thinks of Ian, Irish for bird, and writes bird. Over in Connaught, another clerk hears Coinin, rabbit, and writes rabite. The only variable was which side of the country you were standing on when somebody asked your name. Ireland's Registrar General once recorded one family with 6 siblings buried under 6 different spellings of a single name. 6 graves, 6 spellings. One family who could no longer prove on paper that they were related to each other, separated by a clerk's ear. Number 2. Costello. It sounds Italian. It's Norman, in Irish Mac Oisdalepai. The family arrived with the invasion of the 1170s, took East Mayo, and then did something no Norman family had done. They gave themselves an Irish surname. It's in the Annals of the Four Masters by 1193, the first Norman family on record to take a Gaelic Mac name. After that, they feuded like a Gaelic clan, held a barony that still carries their name, and were dispossessed like one. Dudley Costello fought for the Confederates, went to Spain, made colonel, and came home to find the estates granted to the Dillons. He died in 1667, an outlaw on his own family's ground. They picked a side. The side lost. The name is the receipt. Number 1. Fox, a plain English word, and underneath it one of the oldest lineages in Ireland, O Catharnai, traditionally of the line of Niall of the Nine Hostages. In the 11th century, their chief ruled Teffia and was known as Ansionach, the Fox. He was killed in 1084, and the nickname outlived him by 900 years. Every head of the family after him styled the Fox. Then the Tudors arrive with surrender and regrant, give up the Gaelic chieftainry, take an English title, keep the ground. They take it. The Fox becomes Baron of Kilcorsey, and it holds about 80 years, until 1641, when they come out in the Rising anyway. They lose the barony. They lose the land. They traded the name for the land and kept neither. Except this. Except you. None of these names were invented by the people carrying them. Every one was decided at a counter, a parish desk, a ship's rail, by somebody working out how much of themselves it was safe to declare. Some of it came back. The O in O'Sullivan climbed from around 4% of families in the 1860s to 60% by the 1940s. But the Murphys never took it back, and the Doyles never took it back, and that was survival too. If your surname is on this list, nothing about it was administrative. Somewhere behind you is a person at a desk, giving whichever version of themselves would get the family through, and the misspelling they left behind is still on the page, waiting for somebody to notice. So drop your surname in the comments, and tell me which of these 10 landed closest to your family. And if the spelling shifted between Ireland and wherever you're sitting, tell me what it was before. Somebody in your family knows. Somebody always does.